What is up, everyone? Welcome back to All Takes No Whiffs. I am Alex, and that is Christian. And for this video, we have a real special one coming up. It's going to be a fighter profile of Ryan Garcia for this upcoming weekend for Ryan Garcia versus Gervonta Tank Davis. Going to be an absolute epic fight. It's a mega fight, and we just wanted to get a little more coverage out there. And I'm really looking forward to get into this.
Oh, for sure. This is going to be one of the highlight fights of 2023. I cannot wait for this fight. But as for Ryan Garcia, King Ryan, if you guys like to refer to him as that, I know I've been pretty critical of him in the past. I respect what he's doing now, though. I want to say I take back what I've the criticisms from beforehand because he's putting a lot of effort into wanting to this into winning this fight. I think that's the number one thing on his mind, more so than social media clout and all that. But regardless, though, the social media, that's part of Ryan's story. And it honestly starts way back at 7 years old. That's when he started boxing, started training in his father's garage. We saw him go viral with his fast hands, like all the uppercuts. We seen him do that in the garage, just training in there. And from there, he just blew up into a social media superstar. And not just that, has climbed the ranks in boxing. He's one of the notable names in around the lightweight weight class. But yeah, like I said, I was a little critical beforehand. The thing is, Ryan has gone through a lot of mental struggles and just adversity in general in the ring too. And I feel like he's come out on the other side as just a better fighter and just a stronger mentality. I think he's more focused on boxing than ever, especially with this fight right here. This is a legacy fight right here. I love that he's taking this fight at 24. It's just respect to him. So, getting into his amateur career though, Ryan honestly has a pretty insane record of 215 and 15. That's definitely an elite record for amateur status. I know we talk about Loma as one of the greatest amateurs ever. I think he had like 4 losses. 15 is not that many losses when you're considering how many fights that is. So he honestly has a really extensive amateur career, including 15 national gold medal championships. Yeah, that 215 and 15 record, I think that gives a good idea of as to why he garnered a lot of attention outside of his post.
Yeah, Ryan is definitely one of the most decorated amateur boxers we've seen. Kind of like Lomachenko, you said, they both have had really, really good records in the amateur rankings. And kind of like you said, Ryan is putting a lot on the line. So is Gervonta Davis in this fight. And kind of like you were saying too, I have a lot more respect for Ryan now. I mean, I had respect for him before. I mean, anyone who gets in the boxing ring, I have a ton of respect for in the first place. But uh,
Exactly.
putting a lot of your legacy this young in your career on the line against Gervonta Tank Davis right now it's what everyone wants to see, but also it's just a lot for him. And like you were mentioning too,
Hmm.
he's coming off some mental struggles too. We'll get into that in a little bit, but this dude has gone through a lot, and he is out here to prove that he is here and he's here to stay in this division. And he wants to knock out Tank. Tank wants to knock out Ryan. So don't want to get really too much into that yet, but before we move on to Ryan's resume and some of the big fights that he has been in, kind of like I was saying, that he's putting a lot on the line with his legacy. Hopefully, this is going to start with a lot more of the mega fights and super fights coming up. These guys are wanting to bring boxing back into the spotlight, and to do that, we have to get all these mega fights. Boxing is in a pretty good place right now, but we still aren't getting all those mega fights, and this is really the first mega fight we've gotten in a pretty long time that everyone really wants to see. So hopefully we will be getting more of these super fights here soon with these guys showcasing it here this upcoming weekend. But to move on to Ryan Garcia's professional resume, his first professional fight came against Edgar Meza. I think, I'm not sure if I said that right, but it came in 2016. It was a first round knockout, and honestly, it was pretty nice.
Oh yeah, it was quite the debut for a fighter with that much hype behind him. And honestly, his first few fights as a whole, it was just a really hot start to it. Five of his six first fights all ended in knockout, and his first three fights, all first three first round knockouts. So that's quite the way to begin your career. But honestly, since then, Ryan's just been, I guess, building his resume, getting experience. Slowly but surely stepping up in competition with quality wins against Romero Duno and Francisco Fonseca, both first round KOs. And yeah, just him rising in the ranks. It was nice to see all the highlights and all that stuff. And then we see him up against Luke Campbell, and that's where his first real test came in. That fight was crazy to watch. I remember very well looking back. I was a little critical of Ryan during the fight. I didn't like a few things that I was seeing. Looking real flat footed and real susceptible to a left hand from Luke, and that's what we saw. Got knocked down for the first time in his career, and credit to Ryan though. He fought through adversity. That knockdown probably sent a whole lot of different thoughts through his head, but he came through and got the stoppage on a brutal body shot. That was definitely the response that you want to see up against somebody, a quality fighter like Luke Campbell. Obviously, Luke Campbell, he's not anywhere near Gervonta Davis level, but it gives a pretty good idea of where Ryan's at as a fighter for sure.
Yeah, that fight against Luke Campbell was honestly eye-opening for Ryan Garcia. But before I get into that, Romero Duno, that's supposed to say silver, not sliver, WBC lightweight. That's my bad. It's a typo on my end. I just wanted to clarify that real quick. But he had two really good first round knockouts in those two fights. But Luke Campbell, Christian said it pretty much perfectly. I mean, this was a real test for him, and I don't think Ryan was expecting this at all. He got hit a lot. He got knocked down. And my honestly, I gained a lot more respect for Ryan Garcia after this fight because as soon as he was knocked down and he got back up, he went after Luke Campbell, and Luke Campbell couldn't do anything after that.
Oh yeah.
It opened up something in Ryan Garcia, and I don't think he wanted to get hit again because he did get hit a lot. And I mean, he got knocked down. That was a pretty nice shot that he took. I mean, it definitely knocked him back, but that I gained so much more respect for Ryan Garcia after that because he just turned it on. And I mean, that body shot was absolutely brutal, dude.
It was nice.
My
I thought it was
stomach hurts just thinking about it right now because there's no way Campbell is going to be getting up from that.
the way it bounced off of Campbell's abdomen. It just like you just knew that all that force went into just one organ, and that's the worst type of shot to take outside of just getting your lights turned off. So it was a really impressive showing for Ryan for sure. And then that after that fight, I think, to be honest, the criticism from the performance and the knockdown, even though it was a really good comeback, I think that was definitely an impact on his mental health struggles at the time he took a break after this fight and came back and uh, I kind of with a different energy. That's how I see it. Came back wanting to pursue the best fights. Obviously, I know Emmanuel Tago and Javier Fortuna aren't top quality guys. I think that's him trying to just getting back into motion after his break. I also like how he after he took that break, he came back just all tatted up out of nowhere. That was also interesting too.
Yeah, I honestly really like that. I was not expecting that from him at all. But I mean, those fights against Tega, bro, I'm horrible at saying names, and anyone who's
Take
watching
it.
knows. But but Tego, and Fortuna, those are both really good wins. I mean, he got three knockdowns, in three straight rounds, and then the sixth round it was ended. But honestly, I was just glad that Ryan got back in the ring at some point because I know there was at one point where he thought he was going to quit boxing and never get back in the ring again. I know in the Showtime All Access series that they did, there's two episodes. I know they talked about it in there, and I just really that took me away, and I was like, there's no way someone that young and that good can be taken away from this sport. But I'm glad he came back into it. He's gotten some really nice dubs since then. He's going to be going on to this mega fight here with Gervonta Davis this upcoming weekend. So I'm just really looking forward to seeing what Ryan Garcia is going to be able to do.
Oh yeah, they're coming up on a mega fight indeed. I'm really glad to see this for Ryan and Tank, especially that Ryan's only 24. That's I just remember some of the greatest fighters of all time off the top of my head, Sugar Ray Leonard and Tommy Hearns. They first matched up when I believe both of them were around their 20, around 24 or 25, and we ended up getting an insane. I think it was two fights that were really quality between those two, and they fought when they were way older. But that's not much to talk about with that one. I think this is a setup for potentially something with that. I think honestly, even though this is their first matchup, I don't think it's going to be their last one. If all goes well, that's my ideal scenario in boxing. But I'm just really excited to see what's going to be in store for these guys this weekend. And if you guys are too, be sure to subscribe because we're going to be dropping these profiles on them and also previewing the fight itself. Really looking forward to that. Also, turn on notifications to stay tuned when those drop, just to be the first ones informed. Of course, we're going to be coming through with the information y'all need for these fights, and hopefully giving y'all a good idea of who you think is going to win, who you want to put your money on, and all that. And go ahead if you want like the video as well. We appreciate all the support, and I'm just really looking forward to this fight. But until then, peace.
Peace.